Hello, welcome back or welcome to the channel. I am so happy to have you here with me. Ooh, I feel like it's been a minute. So let's just dive right in. As with any case study or tarot reading that you get or do, take whatever resonates, leave whatever doesn't for whoever it is meant for. All right. So we're just going to see. Let's dive into this collective's energy, okay? Let's see, what is the focus of this collective's energy? What is the focus of this collective's energy? We have keening. Ooh, this feels... So I've been feeling this a lot lately, which is why it was actually really difficult for me to come onto the channel and do divination for you guys. This exact feeling, it's like there was so much of that. There was so much releasing and letting go and just a lot of that going on. So with that being said, I feel like, which makes sense, right, for my collective too, that you would also be experiencing something along those lines. Now, let's see what it says on here. Hold on for just a moment in time, acknowledging before release and liberating what needs to be freed. So this gives me the feeling of like, I'm so done with this. I'm so over this. And I did feel at the beginning of this year that we were really transitioning into the next phase of our lives where we're going to spend a good majority of our time. So basically, like the next 9 years type of a deal. But what was interesting and what I kept experiencing is that even though we were in this new year, I kept this feeling of like, okay, but we haven't necessarily cleared out all the old yet. And I could feel this coming in. And so this is what I'm feeling for you, especially with this. That you either are going through, so you might be a little bit behind me, or you have gone through or will be going through, right? This can hit you at any stage. It could be the before, the during, or the after, okay? So there could be three different people watching this, and it will be accurate for all three different collectives. But one will be for the past, one will be for the present, and one will be for what is to come. So it looks like there's a lot of pain to release. And I think it's getting into the nitty gritty. Okay. What I mean by that is there's parts of yourself that it's not like you need to release. I guess there's parts of yourself where I'm feeling that you need to learn to accept. I guess there's a part of you... What I'm feeling here, why I'm saying I guess, is because what the feeling I'm getting is that there's a part of you that doesn't want to accept failure or imperfection, but there is perfection in the imperfection. I know that that's really cliche, but and I feel like for those of you who are here, you already understand that, but to me, with this card coming out, it's like, but you haven't actually accepted that yet or made peace with that yet. You're like, no, I know that it's true, but you know, what is it? It's like, yeah, no, I know that it's true, but I'm past that. That's the feeling I get. But the shadowy part of that is you're not quite finished with it yet. All right, let's see what's gotten you to this point. We have blackberries. Ooh, I like this. Anytime I see this symbol, for me, that's why this necklace is so symbolic for me too, is that it's always about your divine direction, following that soul path. So to me, it's like what got you here before I even read this, just what's coming off is you've been guided here. Okay. Your soul, in other words, your soul brought you to this moment in order for you to see your flaws and to accept them with perfection, or to accept them understanding that the flaws are what gives you a certain perfection. Um, it's like what I'm seeing now is puzzle pieces coming together. All right. And it's like this puzzle piece only fits a certain way. So you may deem that it's imperfect in this moment, but it's actually exactly what is needed for that next piece to fit in. So I don't know if this is because it also kind of makes me feel like a soulmate or a divine partner. Take that if it resonates. I don't think that's for all of you. I really feel like that's going to be for somebody very specific. All right, let me read this. It says, there is no weaving with existence when you ignore the presence of spirit within self. Yeah, I think what's gotten you to this, I just can't take this type of anymore, is allowing your soul to guide you. But at the same time, with what I was already sensing, was this I almost want to say a disillusion or an illusion of not accepting your imperfect parts. Okay, not accepting yourself if you don't do everything right in the right moment. um like it's like give yourself some wiggle room, some playroom. It's almost coming off like life is an experiment. Have fun with it. Yeah, okay, so now what's coming through is the only reason you're upset about these imperfections is because you think they mean something bigger. Like you're not going to be able to get what you want, or if you don't do this perfectly, you're not going to be happy or fulfilled. And that is definitely something that you have to let go of. I can see the pain on this person's face from that. Like, I'm never going to happen. This is never going to get done. Like, that's, and you know what? You need to let that frustration out, because what's going to come up next is going to be your soul being like, no, it's not. You are going to get exactly what you need. You're doing everything the right way. Like, it will come, but you cannot ignore this feeling, because your soul is actually guiding you to it. All right, let's see what the future holds. Ooh, we got a twofer. We have the swan. So I do see, and then we have another. I love this symbol. This deck must be, this is the Imbilic Seasons of the Witch, and I'm just noticing this symbol on, well, that's two cards already, but I also feel like it was on another. So that might just be this season is really following your soul's direction. Like this is the season that you've entered into. This is that phase that you've entered into. With the swan coming out, it's giving me the sense of that there's grace coming, especially from this card, right? To know that you're leaving, you will be leaving this space, and you will be entering this new grace period. All right, let me read this. It says, I am everything I seek, the one I am meant to trust above all else to create one of the strongest loves within my lifetime. Gosh, do I love that. Because it's within yourself. The greatest love that you can have is within yourself. And when you have that love for yourself, you will receive that love back to you externally too. Um, but it really does begin with the way that you love yourself. Wow. Okay. Oh, I forgot that another card had come out with that. Okay, so we have arts and crafts. There's something about this, okay? I think the more, because of this perfection thing, I think the more that you allow imperfection, okay, like the arts and crafts is really reminding me of sometimes a mistake you make when you're painting or a mistake you make when you're drawing can turn into a happy mistake, meaning it ends up going somewhere, or it ends up making the picture prettier than you expected it to be, but it went in a different direction. This is kind of what I'm getting for you. And I'm not really sure where it is that you're going, but with the arts and crafts and with the swan coming out, it gives the feeling of really awakening your creativity and a love for something. But again, with this requirement of, I don't know how I want to stack this, um, of grace and of love and of loving the imperfections. All right, I want to see what is stabilized for you through this. What have you stabilized within yourself already to help you get through this? We have house mouse and we have groundhog. Let's see. Okay, definitely with the phases. What you've grounded in is this understanding, whether you are, so I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, because it feels like this is coming up through the subconscious, the way this energy is being revealed to me. But it feels like you understand at some level that everything goes through phases. And so there's something here, even with your creativity going in phases, and understanding that your creativity goes in phases. The reason I feel that's huge for you is because it helps you get through anything. And it also allows you to really tap into the moment. Like if you're having a really great moment, this too shall pass, meaning really soak it up, really be in the moment, because that moment, it's going to be there, but at some point it is going to go away. But then there's the other ones, right, where you're going through some hard or difficult times, and it's this too shall pass, and it's what can get you that extra kind of hope or that extra strength that you need, understanding that this is just a phase and this will pass eventually. Let me see. All right, so we have, the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into the belief? Okay, for the fact that I feel like this is already grounded in for you, gives me this feeling that you do have this belief, okay? That there is a belief that especially I would say after this last phase, we'll say especially this past year, I'll say this is timeless. So whenever you're coming across it, this past year there was a lot of changes and you made a lot of progress on basically what your belief system is, so you're standing firmly on that. um and then with the groundhog, wake up, dear one, from the slumber you find a comfort in. The truth is seeking those ready to acknowledge it. Yeah, see, I feel like, okay, with both of these coming is, that's why I think I was feeling this coming up from the subconscious. It does feel a little bit like you're still asleep to it with this groundhog, and that you are awakening to this new mindset, to this almost new person that I feel like you've become. Um this is also why I'm feeling like this energy is coming through. It might be because you're releasing so much, and it was such a part of who you were. It was such a huge part of your identity. And so I do feel like it almost feels like just a new energy or essence of who you are really coming in through. All right, let's see what's coming in to assist you through this. We have serpent. Yeah, that's exactly. It says, slither through and out as you shed in preparation for a new beginning. There's this new beginning coming in. You're shedding old skin, which is why it's extremely painful, right? And it's itchy, it's uncomfortable because you are changing. Um, yeah. All right. I'm gonna leave this here. But yeah, this seems to be the energy that you are currently going through. I do want to see if um let's do the elemental portion of this. Let's see what what can we utilize in the air element to help you through this stage. We have 2 of Wands. So it feels like it understand, like, the 2 of Wands is about aiming and planning and knowing where you're going. So there's something to that where if you can, even though you are going through a hard time, keep your mind moving on what you're aiming for and know that that is coming true. Okay. The flowers are kind of just reminding me, like, it may take a little bit for this to bloom, but keep that belief going, keep your actions and motivations aligned with becoming this new person, this new being. It's interesting because I'm having like a conflict here with a new person, also a remembrance of who you actually are. Because there is this thing of you are a seed, right? Just like an oak tree has a seed. When it was planted, you knew it was going to be an oak tree. But the way that oak tree looks and the way it expresses itself is different based on the experience it went through, where the sun was shining, where other trees grew around it. So there's these kind of differences that make us unique. So there's like twofold. There's a remembrance of who you are at the core that's really coming through powerfully, and there's also this beginning. So that's what I'm kind of seeing, is this merging of who you are at a soul level, um merging with who you are through these experiences. I know that sounds weird, but that's just what's coming through. Let's see what can help water. The water element. Okay. It's interesting. It's like they just want to flow. It's just flow. That's kind of what I was getting there. So we have the 8 of Pentacles and the Magician. And the way that even the cards were when that came out, it's like just keep working, keep being in your flow. Right? The Magician controls he controls the controllables. Okay. So you can't control your emotions, but you can control how you release them out of you. Okay. Um, you can control your motivation by the things that you are thinking about or what the focus is that you have. Okay. Your thoughts, you can control your thoughts by, again, where you're placing your focus. Um, and with, what are we missing here? Oh, Pentacles. Okay, you can take charge of the physicality or the 3D surroundings, based on what you do in those surroundings. Okay, what steps are you actually physically taking? Again, it's controlling the controllables and then allowing energy and momentum kind of do the rest. The way that I was seeing this is like you're in your flow, working and utilizing all of the elementals to your advantage. And this is going to help you during this time to release what needs to be released and to accept what needs to be accepted still. All right, let's see what's going on in the fire element. We have the King of Pentacles. That's just a reminder to me, the King of Pentacles is the handyman. He is the person that literally gets things done. So during this process, it's important for you to do what needs to be done to keep your fire and your passion and your motivation going. So to me, this is representative of, okay, what am I doing to keep my motivation towards this? Where's this passion? What am I thinking about? What am I doing physically? How am I releasing emotions so that I can allow motivation to come in? That's that's where the King of Pentacles comes in with the fire. And it being right above this swan and arts and crafts, I also feel like it's tend to the things that bring you peace and also things that are creative for you. Okay, because I'm also noticing these kids, like they're kids and they're just having fun. They're not necessarily worried about how they're doing it. They just want to do it. They're just using their creativity. So I think that there's something important in that for you to keep your passion moving. And then let's see in the earth element, what can support you in the earth element? We have death. I'm hearing allow the things to die that need to be dead, but also with the way that this card is, it's also honoring, like honoring the part of you that was a perfectionist and thought that you had to be a perfectionist. Because it, I feel like in this particular situation or within this case study, it's like it kept you going to keep improving. But you don't need the perfection to keep going and to keep improving. I feel like this is something that you've already cultivated within these cards already. So it's not something that you have to keep cultivating. So you can let go of perfection because you're going to continue moving no matter what. And it's not about perfection, it's about you moving towards the thing that feels right. Does this feel right? No. Okay, pivot or go this way or that way. So I think that you allowing whatever needs to end. And I do feel like this is spiritually, mentally, and physically. Allow those things to end that need to end. Because I feel like this energy is happening because there's just a lot that needs to still be released yet. And I feel like after you let it go and it's gone and dead, this is when that new beginning, that's when that serpent energy, this new beginning is really going to come in for you. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you today.